Welcome everyone to Wizards Outlook. We got Raymond Lyons here today. I'm Wilson Turvey Jr. And the Wizards, man. They were up north this evening, matinee type game. Wizards can't rally as the Raptors won the season series 130 to 122. We saw the Wizards get off to a very slow start, one of those starts that we seen during the first half of the season, and we saw them kind of rally back, but just couldn't get over the hump. But Ray, what did you think about that start? And just how much of a hole do you feel that it put him in?
Oh yeah, that was the game. You know, that start was horrendous. They checked every negative box humanly possible. Dug themselves into a 25-point hole. And I mean, for the rest of the game, the remaining three quarters, they were plus 17. So, if you just have a halfway disastrous start instead of a completely disastrous start, you win this game. So yeah, man, that's it. It's just disappointing to to kind of see that. And I mean, we know what it is. We've been saying it for months now with what type of situation we ran with this team. But yeah, they clearly have some. There's some positive things happening here. If we can just kind of curb the negative just a little bit, they'll be in a much better spot. As we saw tonight, they came out no energy. The Raptors, they just jumped on them extremely quick and didn't let up for the entire first quarter. But once the Wizards kind of got their legs under them, it was a completely different ball game. And kudos to them, man, for fighting back, because I mean they easily could have laid down, but that's a good sign to me. That they were able to gather themselves and still come out and try to win the game despite the way they started. We've seen in the past where this thing just kind of continues throughout, and this is a 30-40 point loss. But yeah, they went out there and tried to dig themselves out, and they got pretty close, but they were just too big of a hole and just couldn't get over the hump. But outside of the first quarter, man, it's not much to criticize. Just some spots here and there, they're kind of careless with the ball. I don't remember seeing a lot of WTF shots. It could have been some here and there, but for the most part, they were very decisive about what they wanted to do. Again, they did get downhill a bit, but they also shot 43s, but they shot 40% from three. So it's games where they shoot 40 and make 8 of them. Tonight they were they were pretty efficient from behind the arc, but yeah, man, the slow start doomed them, and Toronto just had enough to continue to hold them off for the remainder of the game.
Yeah, talking about that start, I also think I want to credit Toronto for kind of their game plan early on in this game. They just packed the paint. Washington has done so much damage to teams recently with that usually we at the end of games we're like, they usually have somewhere between 60, 65 points in the paint usually. Tonight they ended with 50, but that came after that first quarter. That was almost all the Raptors in terms of points in the paint, and especially fast break points in that first quarter. The Raptors were just getting stops and running. And then, like you said, we saw Washington settle down. I think they went on a huge run. I forget the exact number, but they went on a huge run in the second quarter, which was fueled by them getting stops. So credit to them for that. And that's one of the things that, you touched on, which I think that is definitely a positive to take away from the second part of the season is wherever that newfound ability came to kind of just respond versus letting go of the rope. Like you said, otherwise, this does look much different if this is the first half of the season. Also think they got a lot of contributions from folks in this one, but again, keep in mind, they're missing some pieces in their front court. The Raptors were missing some folks as well, but I thought they moved the ball pretty well. I thought Jordan Poole did a good job, at the controls. I just think late in the game, some mental errors, like you said, we didn't have as many of those, what the heck, those WTF shots as you mentioned, but just sometimes the decision making. So it wasn't necessarily the shots, just the decision of a pass here, something got away from you, seeing something a little too late. But again, that comes with it was 42-17 at the end of one. That's a big climb. It's a large climb. So not only you got to get out of that hole, you got to make sure the other team literally doesn't run away from you again, and that's hard to do, considering what they have. But thought you got a really good game from Denny and Jordan. It's cool to see Corey bounce back. I thought this was Patrick Baldwin Jr.'s best game as a Wizard, honestly.
Yeah, for sure.
Just on both ends, just in totality, I thought that was a really good game from him. Vuk was kind of up and down, but I'm not too mad at him. Just keep getting your feet wet. That's all this is about for him. So you can figure out what you need to do. Also, the Raptors, I think the last time they played, I don't think they had RJ Barrett because of what he was going through, prayers to him and his family for their loss. But Barrett was definitely, his impact was felt in this one. So was Emmanuel Quickley's. Neither one of those guys, I believe neither one of those guys played in that last matchup. And Emmanuel Quickley was everywhere. 31-13, man. And you had Barrett getting into the paint with 22, 8, and 7. Because the last time they played, Grady Dick had a solid game, but it was Gary Trent Jr. that went off. That last go round. But if you have nothing to add to this game, got to ask you player of the game. I think we mentioned him already, but
yeah, Emmanuel Quickley. Yeah, he had his way. 31 points, 9-15 from the field, perfect 10-10 from the line, 13 assists, sniffed the triple double with 7 boards. Yeah, he was all over the place tonight.
Yeah, if you're the Raptors, that's exactly what you the type of performance you hope to get from him going forward when you made that trade, right? Is hoping that you got that this is your guy at the one. And he showed out tonight. I thought I think you said it perfectly. Outside of the turnovers, he played a very clean game. 4 turnovers is a little too much, and that's nitpicking. Like, let's be honest, that's legitimately nitpicking there. But yeah, no, I agree wholeheartedly. X Factor, who'd you have?
This was a little crowded category tonight, man. I want to cheat and just say the others, but I'm pick. I go Grady Dick, man. I felt like he had some timely shots, especially after the game had gotten respectable again.
Yeah,
he stepped into a couple threes that just kind of kept the Wizards at bay enough for for Toronto to sustain the lead.
Yeah, we saw him exit the game there, I think, in the second half, but I'm with you. That was actually my selection. I was like, Ray, please say RJ Barrett or something so I can sound smart. But I guess we'll sound smart there. We'll go with Grady Dick. I thought during that first quarter too, right? He was a factor during that first quarter run for sure. Hit a couple threes. And then as you said, he just hit some timely baskets for them. And just like we're giving credit to some of the Wizards youngsters for their growth late in the season, the steps they're making, I'm sure Toronto has to be happy about the steps he's been making. This season's going on. This season has going on as they continue to build around their young group. Again, they were missing one of their big young guns today, and no Scotty Barnes today for Toronto is kind of their centerpiece and whatnot. So up next, I think the Wizards have the Wolves, right? On Tuesday, I think.
Tuesday, yeah.
In Minnesota, which will not be fun. That is a damn good team. We'll see how that one will go. We'll get to the comments though. Area 11T had this to say. Question: what's your prediction starting lineup for next season, man? In the words of my guy Kyle Shanahan, I don't know if we'll be here next season. My man was like, I don't know if we'll be here by Sunday or something. But nah, it's way too early, man. It's way too early. So early. Ray, your answer to this question?
Yeah, I'm with you, man. It's nobody's in a position to predict that. Like, we don't even know what this roster is going to look like heading into training camp.
I think that's the fun part, though, is knowing how much flexibility they do have, though. Like, I don't think anybody's done necessarily enough where it's like, oh, this is the 3 or 4. Nah, we don't know. This regime will show us, but we don't know anything for sure. we know a lot of young folks in different parts of their career took steps forward this season. And now we got to see if, that group's how much of that group gets to stay together and go forward, or what gets added to this group, subtracted from this group. That's the fun part, because, as this regular season winds down, we find out very soon, playoffs, and then, the draft. You think it's more likely they add a big or a guard or both to the roster next year? Ray, you can go first, and I chime in afterwards.
I mean, they need a lot. So, if they add both, that would be great. But if there was an area of need, I'd like them to address more immediately, or to definitely be, get a little big on the inside, because we saw how that is, that's doomed them at points in this season. They've done a little better job compensating for that as of late, but yeah, rolling through the season with 6'8" and 6'9" bigs, then yeah, that's not the way to go.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think you could do both. It's just a matter of how much you invest in each, which would be the differentiating factor. But now I'm with Ray. Like, look at the men's college game. Like, y'all see it's 7-4 against 7-2 in the title game. We see, that alien that just landed here this rookie season. Yeah, man. Gonna need those. Those once again matter again. That small ball stuff. It was fun. It was great. It was cute for a little while. You can't 6'8", 6'9" stuff. Those are wings. E-footers again. Like Ray said. I think people are tired of that. So you should have led with that one, followed by the other one. But yeah, I'm with you. I think it's one of those things, right? We got to see what ends up happening. Who knows, after this season, somebody's like, hey, here's a quality big for one of your younger veterans. Do you say, no, I'll stand pat and take a rookie, or hope that a rookie falls to me? Or do you go, yes, I would like that big who spent some time in the league already. Please send him immediately, and I'll figure out this guard problem or whatever it may be that I lose, right? But yeah, man, it depends. I just think it's what the NBA's opposite the NFL, where the NFL has the draft. NFL has free agency and then the draft. NBA's draft and then free agency, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, man, it's gonna be fun to see what they place as a priority. Because the good thing is, like, you got options again, which we've maintained. We've continued to say you got options. I think this is safe to say everyone's interested to see what Vukovic can become. But that doesn't mean that he's definitively the guy right now. Like, nothing's happened that says that's our starting five. You know what I'm saying? Like, no one's stake claim to that yet. We see some of the bigs that are missing. Like, you want to keep them in a rotation. You don't know, like, but like Ray said, bro, you need some actual real deal size. It's scary out there. The team you playing on Tuesday, they got 2-footers. When healthy, you got some teams with 3-footers. Just chilling. So I think it's one of those things, man. It's tough out there, but I'm with Ray. Go get you a big if you can, man. Go get you one of those, and not one of like the 6'10", 6'11" ones. Like, I'm talking about like one of them 7'2" ones. Somebody who can maybe put a hand up and bother the alien. Just maybe. Like in that realm, in his weight class. Obviously, you're not getting anyone nearly as gifted, but just to bother him, just like to throw a hand up and it's like, oh, something. Because right now, bro, what you got? JoJo just came back for the Sixers. You got Joker out west. You still got to deal with the Giannis. Like, matter of fact, we saw this week what it looks like. Yeah, Giannis, AD, like, yeah. I'm with Ray. You need to get you some more size up in your front court for sure. Want to thank y'all for tuning in, man. Check Instagram real quick. All right. And we will see you guys Tuesday night following the Wizards game. I believe that game starts at 8 against Minnesota, 8 Eastern. So we'll see you guys, 10:30? Something like that. Y'all have a good one.